Jets, let's go Jets! Hello everyone and welcome back to the NFL Kid. I'm your host Rishi Marcinani and today I'm going to be giving you my NFL Week 5 recap as well as my NFL Week 6 predictions. To start off this recap, I have to talk about my New York Jets dominating victory over the Miami Dolphins. Even though the Miami Dolphins were on their third string quarterback, Skylar Thompson, we still dropped a 40-burger on them, which is something we haven't been able to do for 4 years. Zach Wilson looked really good in this game, but even more than that, our rookies really shined and lived up to their hype. The number 4 overall pick and our first pick from this year's draft, Sauce Gardner, had 5 tackles, 3 passes defended, and an interception, as well as a QB pressure that ended up forcing a safety. However, the big story from this game was our rookie running back, Breece Hall, with 97 rushing yards and 100 receiving yards, as well as 1 touchdown. All these players and many others all played a critical role in the Jets' big win over the Miami Dolphins. This was a great game for my New York Jets, and I hope that they were able to keep up this level of play moving forward. Now let's talk about the other New York team's shocking win. The New York Giants beat the Green Bay Packers in London this week. The Packers were up 20-10 heading into the second half, and from that moment on, the Giants' defense was able to shut out the Green Bay Packers. The Giants marched down the field and scored on multiple of their next possessions to go up 27-20 with very little time remaining in the game. However, the Packers had the ball on the Giants' 5-yard line. It was third down and the Packers were looking for a touchdown to possibly try and win the game. However, the Giants' defense stood strong and batted down Aaron Rodgers' next 2 pass attempts. On their next possession, the Giants took a safety to waste time and run down the clock, and they ultimately ended up winning the game 27-22 over the Green Bay Packers. And the final game that I wanted to talk about before I get into my predictions was the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders went up 17-0 to start the game, and it looked like the Chiefs were going to lose. However, the Chiefs stayed strong and resilient and fought their way back into this game. Patrick Mahomes threw 4 touchdown passes, all of which went to Travis Kelce. He really is the best tight end in football. Then, with 4 minutes remaining in the game, the Las Vegas Raiders scored a touchdown, making the score 29-30. The Chiefs were still winning. Here, the Las Vegas Raiders had the choice to make. They could either kick the extra point and tie the game, or they could go for 2 and try to win. However, much like John Harbaugh's decision to go for it on 4th down against the Bills in Week 4, the Raiders decided to go for 2 because they knew if they gave Patrick Mahomes even a few minutes left, he would be able to go down and score. They handed the ball off to Josh Jacobs for the 2-point conversion, but he came just short and the Raiders lost the game 29-30 against the Kansas City Chiefs. This game, along with a few other games this week, also had some questionable roughing the passer penalty calls. Chris Jones' strip sack on Derek Carr, as well as Grady Jarrett's sack on Tom Brady, were both huge plays that could have changed the course of the game if they weren't called back by roughing the passer penalties. I think that the reason the NFL is enforcing these roughing the passer calls much more this week is because after what happened to Tua Tagovailoa and his head injury, they want to make sure that none of their quarterbacks get injured like that again. But now, let's move on to my top 3 NFL Week 6 predictions. To do that, we first need to see how I did on my predictions last week. Last week I went 2-2, which is alright. I already talked about the Giants-Packers game, which I predicted wrong. I also thought that the Rams would beat the Cowboys, but the Cowboys ended up winning thanks to their stellar defense. Cooper Rush is now 4-0 as the Cowboys started this year, and so the question becomes, do you keep Cooper Rush in once Dak Prescott is fully healthy? What I would do is, once Dak is fully healthy, let Cooper Rush continue to start until he loses a game. Then, once he loses, put Dak Prescott in and let Dak start for the rest of the year because Dak Prescott is more talented than Cooper Rush. I also correctly predicted both the Philadelphia Eagles and Baltimore Ravens win. Both of these teams won in close games that went down to the wire against good opponents. I think that both of these teams played really well as the Eagles improved to 5-0 and the Ravens beat their division rivals as well as the AFC defending champs. After these predictions, my current record this year increases to 16-8. So now, let's get on with my top 3 predictions for Week 6 of the NFL. My first prediction of the week is that I think the Baltimore Ravens will beat the New York Giants. Even though the New York Giants have a better record than the Ravens, I think Lamar Jackson will be able to outduel Daniel Jones. And for those of you who are saying that Lamar Jackson is only good at running and he's not a good passer, keep in mind that Lamar Jackson has the most touchdown passes from the pocket out of any NFL quarterback this season, with 10 touchdown passes. The Ravens also are one of the leaders in passing touchdowns this season. The Ravens also always have a good running game, and that's always an issue for the Giants defense. The Giants defense ranks 26th in rushing yards allowed, and that'll be definitely something that the Ravens offense will take advantage of. And so for those reasons, I think the Baltimore Ravens will beat the New York Giants. The next game that I'll be predicting is going to be a very interesting and intense game between the Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs. This should be a very high-scoring game, as both of these teams are coming off big wins, with the Buffalo Bills blowing out the Pittsburgh Steelers 38-3, and the Kansas City Chiefs coming back to beat the Las Vegas Raiders 30-29. However, I think the Kansas City Chiefs will win this game for 2 reasons. First, this game is being played at Arrowhead, and the Buffalo Bills have always struggled to play Patrick Mahomes in Arrowhead. And the second reason I think the Kansas City Chiefs will win is the Buffalo Bills have a lot of injuries to their team, including their star cornerback, Tre'Davious White, wide receiver Isaiah McKenzie, and tight end Dawson Knox. There's a lot of other players that are injured, but they should be able to play in the game. However, they will be limited in their time. And so for those reasons, I think the Kansas City Chiefs will beat the Buffalo Bills. And the final game I'll be predicting is the Sunday night game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. I think that the Philadelphia Eagles will win this game and improve to 6-0, remaining the last undefeated team in football for 3 main reasons. The first reason is the Philadelphia Eagles are a more balanced team than the Dallas Cowboys. Even though the Cowboys have a really good defense, their offense is kind of lacking, especially in the passing department, because they have Cooper Rush as their quarterback. The second reason that I think the Eagles will win is because the Eagles have the #1 rushing offense in football, and the Cowboys' defense's biggest weakness is against the run. And the third reason why I think the Eagles will win is because even though the Cowboys have a really good pass rush, Jalen Hurts has shown his ability to constantly extend plays and create more opportunities for himself in the offense. And so for those reasons, I think the Philadelphia Eagles will win this game. So to recap my NFL Week 6 predictions, I think that the Baltimore Ravens will beat the New York Giants, I think that the Kansas City Chiefs will beat the Buffalo Bills, and I think that the Philadelphia Eagles will beat the Dallas Cowboys. But feel free to let me know what you think down in the comments below. Also, feel free to leave your NFL Week 6 predictions down in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any more amazing content by the NFL Kid. Until next time, my fellow football fans, see you at game time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.